So before I start with explaining because my task that has been given to me is very clear. It is basically to ensure that I am supposed to explain the empirical testing of this BRT theory. So just to start with, this is the paper. Again, this is the paper from the Journal of Enabling Technologies. It is published with Emerald. It's an ABDC and it's a Scopus Index journal, and you can download it. It's a freely downloadable one. You can go and download it. And this is a paper which I have written in 2000. Research was done in 2017, and published in 2018. And this is basically, I'm going to talk about the aspect of how we are going to test BRT theory for a new technology adoption. So it is typically an IoT-based wearable technology, and it is being used in the application of healthcare for elderly people, or what we call as older adults. Before I start, in case because of network issues, if I'm not audible or any technical glitches or anything happens, please do stop me so that I do understand. Okay, that's a small request to all my all the people present here. Before I start with actually discussing my paper, I'll just quickly, maybe in 2 sentences or 5 sentences, just wrap up what Aditya Sahu has just told us wonderfully. So basically, see, in all social psychology theories, we started with typically with TRA and TPB. Or I call them, I classify them or put them in the cluster of AIB theories. AIB. A stands for attitude. Attitude leads to intention, and intention leads to a particular behavior. So these are traditionally in social psychology. For those of you, all the scholars who are working in that area, you will understand most of the theories are targeting the AIB concept. So it is attitude which leads to intention, and intention leads to behavior. Okay. So what is new in BRT, as well summarized by Aditya, is typically that it is bringing in, it is changing that AIB equation into what I call as, first it starts with beliefs or values. So it is B first, beliefs or values. That leads to R. R is basically reasons. Now when I say reasons, Aditya has rightly told us it is reasons for and reasons against. And this R, B will lead to R will lead to G. G stands for global motives, and global motives again is a combination of 3 basic variables. It is attitude, then it is subjective norm, and it is perceived behavioral control as conceptualized by Westerby. And Cloudy later on obviously dropped perceived behavioral control and subjective norms. He has kept only this one, and from there we take it ahead from, so we go from beliefs or values, it goes to regions, from regions it goes to global motives, and from global motives it goes to intention, and intention leads to behavior. So this is fundamentally, you can say, a change from the AIB. We are now going to what I could say as beliefs and values leading to reasons, reasons leading to global motives, and in global motives I can say attitude is the one which is typically kept in Cloudy as well, because the paper I'm going to talk about is adapted from the Cloudy's BRT model and not the Westerby's model. So I have dropped obviously subjective norms and perceived behavioral control in my model, and from there we talk about intention, and from intention we talk about the behavior. So this is fundamentally the shift, and this shift actually has made the theory very, very robust, number one. Number two, it has brought in a lot of interdisciplinary concept into it, and it is giving a better explanation. It's a highly acclaimed model, because as rightly said that TRA, TPB and many of the social psychological theories for Kensington and decision-making theories that were done are more than 3, 4, 5 decades old. Whereas this particular theory is just a decade old. It's 2005 and we are in 2021. So just about 14, 15 years down the line, and it's a very new theory. It can be explored. It has got a very high theoretical grounding. And the most beautiful part which I found about this theory is, the reasons can be again broken down. It is contextual in nature. So I'm going to talk about reasons in my paper in the context of new technology adoption. And it will be typically reasons for and reasons against, which need not be opposite to each other. They are going to be actually two different perspectives coming from the user. So this is another important point that we need to understand. So we are having a very strong and robust theoretical grounding. It is extending the traditional AIB framework of social psychology theories and bringing in some very important constructs like talking about beliefs and values, connecting it to reasons connecting it to attitude, what we call as global motives, leading it to intention, leading it to behavior. So that AIB has actually been decomposed, or it has been, made it very, very robust by adding in reasons by this one, and also by linking it up with reasons for and reasons against. So I will talk about this particular thing. So for those of, I think many of us know IoT here, and definitely it's a very upcoming technology. It's not, I wouldn't say upcoming now, it is now almost a decade, more than a decade old. And for those of you who know IoT, so I will just quickly run you through my paper. I'll start with the introduction. So IoT is a term which is coined by Ashton. So in 1999 actually, and he's a British pioneer, and he termed this particular concept of IoT. But the beauty is, if I go to Google Scholar today and if I type IoT, so you can see Ashton, the person who actually coined this word, has about only 5,000 citations. Because there are some wonderful other researchers who have taken this concept ahead, like Gubbi. So if you see Gubbi's paper, the first paper you can see, I hope my screen is visible to all of you. Gubbi has got 11,000 citations. So this is one of the seminal articles as far as IoT technology is concerned. I'm sharing this because if scholars want to pick up IoT and go ahead in whatever reasons or applications they have. So Gubbi is one of the papers, and Atzuri is another very important paper. So let me come to that also. Atzuri's paper, you can see there at the bottom. It is, I hope my screen is visible. It has got 15,000 citations. So these are, apart from Ashton's paper, you can always keep Atzuri's paper. It has got 15,000 plus citations, and Gubbi's paper, which has got around 11,500 citations. So these are, the person, the irony in this whole tale is the person who coined the term has been taken over by other budding researchers like Gubbi and Atzuri. So you can see I start with the introduction of, first of all, I introduce the new technology, what is IoT all about. And let me take you at the backdrop. So I will just keep this slide open and I will just share with you what was the reason or the rationale behind choosing this particular research work. Okay, and obviously all of us know wearables, nothing new. Obviously, if I ask the teenage population, or what I call it, the Gen Y and Gen Z, definitely they know what are wearables. In fact, all of them are wearing one, definitely in some form or the other. But yes, the uniqueness in this research is something very different, because these are IoT-based wearables. So IoT-based wearables, for those who know, are typically having a lot more advantages. And the section is not the, I am not targeting the young adults, or I am not targeting the teenagers. I am talking about the elderly people. Because elderly people are the most vulnerable section of the population. Most of them, number one, are either having some chronic ailments which has fought up with age. Many of them obviously are, when I talk about elderly people, they are all people in the senior citizen category. So most of them are having some particular, maybe or may not be, some physical disability, or they may be having some chronic disease, or they may be at the mercy of their sons or daughters and grandsons and granddaughters. So many of them are having issues in physical mobility and all that, and so on and so forth. Many of them are having, are on some type of pharmaceutical prescriptions and medicines. So, this is a vulnerable and you can say least targeted section. So this was one of the reasons, and I'm saying all this because it's coming typically from the literature. So as you can see, I'm just highlighting this point that what is happening today. United Nations report talks about this, that what is going to happen in India. So you can see that in the coming years, obviously, India is a very young, in terms of demographics, India is a very young country, but this thing is going to change very fast. As per the United Nations report, you can very clearly see that the number of old age people, or people, or we call them senior citizens, are going to shoot up. And you can see that in India, as per the report, you can have 20% of its population will be senior citizens. So that is a sizable amount. So if I take the current, this one, it is around, you can say around 35 to 40 million people. So definitely, the question is, who is going to talk about their healthcare? So can they use technology? Can they use a technology like IoT to tackle or target their healthcare? Because you can't expect, their dependents and the relatives and the children and the grandchildren to be at home to take care of them, take them to the doctor or fulfill their prescriptions or take them for a routine visit or take them for a checkup. So that's where this new technology kicks in. So you can see very clearly IoT based wearables are explained. Basically, in the introduction part, I explained what is IoT first of all as a technology, what is happening in the world. As you all know, Japan and most of the developed countries have a lot of elderly people population, and India is soon following them. India is following suit. So therefore, I explained why IoT technology, what is the scenario globally, what is the scenario in India, why their healthcare is important, and then I come down and finally I explain that what is the research question and what is the study going to talk about. It is going to talk about typically what are the adoption factors and what are the barriers for these wearables for the healthcare of these elderly people. And obviously the theory I'm going to use is BRT. So as Aditya had also mentioned that I have to give a sound grounding that why am I not using theories like PRA or TPD or U-Tout. So you will just see if I come down to the underpinning theory section, I talk about all the different models that are there available, the typical traditional theories that as we already just discussed, the TAM, and again, TAM has got TAM1, TAM2, TAM3. Then it has got TPB, theory of planned behavior, unified theory of acceptance and usage of technologies. Again, we have U-Tout1, U-Tout2, U-Tout3. So I have explained basically in this paragraph why I have not considered these theories and why am I talking about BRT as such. So the grounding of why to use BRT for this study is very soundly given. I think just now we talked about innovation resistance. So this theory is a very wonderful theory because it talks about reason for what I call as RF and reason against RA. Both are integrated into one model, conceptual model. So this brings a lot of, because many of the theories are being criticized by researchers, typically TAM theory and U-Tout theory, because they talk only about the pro factors, the factors which induce the adoption of the new technology. It doesn't talk about the resistance factors, whereas BRT takes care of that, number one. And number two, BRT talks about these factors in a contextual nature. So I'll explain what I mean by contextual now in the subsequent sections. So I give a theoretical grounding of why I use BRT. So you can see very clearly I've explained TA, PRA, TPD and all that, and then I come down and explain why I use BRT. So that this one entire section is catered to that, and then I come out and develop my research objectives. So from the research question, as is the agenda for today's session, I have to empirically test this BRT model. So that is what fundamentally I'm supposed to do, and I'm starting with that. So I will come to the model now, the model that I have used. I will just come to that and go back to the section. So this is the conceptual model that has been developed in my particular study. So you can see very clearly beliefs or what we call as this has been converted into values, and values has been translated into openness to change. Again, how do I do this? I'll explain that. I'm just coming to that. So you can see the second part, the connection part from value goes to RF, reasons for the adoption of the technology, RA, reasons against attitude, and this attitude leads to the intention. I haven't gone to the behavior because obviously the point of study of that
Brijesh,
in India. Yes.
voice in between. Now it's
Hello, am I audible, sir?
please continue, sir.
Yeah, thank you. So, I did not test any moderation effect, nor did I test any mediation effect because this was a relatively new technology and catering to the vulnerable section of a society or vulnerable population, that is senior citizens. So, it was a very simple model. So now I'm talking about the first point, the reasons for and reasons against. How do I build that? So I will go back. So you can see every arrow represents a relation, and every relation will have a hypothesis for that. So I will just go back to my hypothesis development section. So you can see here hypothesis development. So first I give the theoretical background of all the possible theories, and I already explained why I go for BRT. Then I explain the first. Okay. Then the second really this one hypothesis. Second hypothesis again you can see in the model. It is this is you can see H1. Okay, then you can see H2, H3A, H3B, H2A, H2B, H4A, H4B. So this is how typically it is explained. So you can again for every particular arrow or definition, we have to quote at least 3 to 5 studies minimum. So that has been done in the hypothesis development section. I'm not getting much into detail of that because I would like to talk about how we develop this particular constructs. So I will first talk about RF. So RF and RA. Typically, you can see they are, developed as a higher order, second order construct, and typically it has got the items that have come are for RF reasons for convenience, ubiquitous, relative advantage, and compatibility. Now, from where did this come? So I'm just showing you the operationalization table. So they're all reflective, and these are the indicators, and you can see very clearly. You must have definitely understood that in the SLR shown that cloudy Westerby. These are the two seminal articles of this one, and I have also taken some from the. At that point of time, there were very few studies, so this was a Gupta Aurora study. So from there, this particular items have been operationalized. So you can see it has been adapted and the references have been given. Then I go to RE, the second higher order construct. Again, these are the barriers as he just now explained to us. It is coming from the innovation resistance theory. So usage barrier, risk barrier, tension barrier. Only 3 barriers I have considered. Again, this is coming from the, you can see very clearly from where the items have been measured and what are the references. Value of openness to change is typically what we call the values. So it has been taken again as a reflective construct, and attitude again has been measured, and then adoption intention. So the beauty out here is that, my dear friends, RF and RA are contextual or context specific. Like if you see at that time, there was no literature available for RF and RA, especially a new technology, an emerging economic context for a country like India, and a vulnerable section of society like the senior citizens. So very difficult for me to get literature to prove, or secondary data to prove that yes, this was the reason for. So what do? So this is where another flexibility. So this is another element which I would like to highlight, that BRT gives us the flexibility of being context specific constructs. So you can have a lot of flexibility, and that is where this new section comes in methodology called as reason extraction. So where do I extract these reasons? So this reason extractions typically happen because I have to explain the reason for and reason against the adoption of the technology. So here I typically use the qualitative mechanism. So qualitative research, or what I call as talking with the SMEs, subject matter experts. So this is where we talk to them. So I will just highlight that particular part for you. So you can see who are my sample respondents. So they are typically people, the age of the participants are typically this, and they must be having some particular health issues, and they were frequently visiting doctors. This was my sample selection. When I talk about the extraction, you can see very clearly when we talk so I'm just highlighting that particular point. After extensive interview of the participants who are using any type of technology-based systems, we can ensure that what were the different points. Again, the study by O and DO that also was highlighted in the literature, so nothing new over here. How we do this one, we calculate for every identified factor, we calculate the mean and the standard deviation so that we can justify which is there may be 5, 6, 7 reasons for, 5, 6, 7 reasons against. So why did I select only a specific one? So again, I choose the mean and standard deviation. Again, this is coming from the O and DO. So this the reference over there. Similarly, for reasons against, again the same thing, extraction. We use the same technique. We take interviews and we understand, and then we rate them based on the mean and standard deviation. So you can see the ones with the highest means and the this one, we can see clearly what were the reasons against. So this is a very unique thing in any particular study, because when you don't have a standard literature for the reasons for and reason against, BRT gives us this particular flexibility of introducing context-specific constructs. So you can have, as I have seen, I have shown you here, you can follow this particular methodology which has been used, and we can take interviews and then we can extract what are the reasons for and reasons against based on the O and TO 2010 technique, where we check the mean and standard deviations and according to report the figures. And similarly, then the value of openness, and then I go on to the research instrument design. I talk about typically what is the, I will just come to the table. Then we have the standard section of the common method bias. Then we talk about why I use PLSN. And then in the discussion, so here you can see the first table talks about the demographics. So you can see the maximum, you can see this is the age. So this is the most important point of the study. People 60 plus, all 60 to 65 this bracket, and 65 and above are this bracket, all of them having some particular health ailments, all of them using some type of technology. So aware of this, all these things have been very clearly mentioned in the demographic table. Total sample size is 815. I can share with you all a very interesting thing. I visited, you can say, most of the old age homes in and around Pune, because getting elderly population is a very, very big task. But I was lucky enough to have a army of volunteers with me, and we could actually conduct this study, and we could get a lot of information from these people. And this is typically the table that the statistical report for each particular. So the second order constructs, you can see how they are built from the first order. So RF and RA are the two second order constructs built from. RF is built from convenience, ubiquity, relative advantage, and compatibility. RA is built from the barriers, usage, risk, and traditional. Raman said innovation resistance theory, 1989. Value of openness to change and attitude leading to intention. So you can see the indicators, you can see the loading values, you can see the ADE, average variance explained, composite reliability CR, Cronbach alpha. So it should be Cronbach alpha. Should be more than 0.7 typically. Composite reliability, AD, I think you can refer to the videos given by Sir. He has explained everything. What should be the values, what should be the threshold values. This is typically the checking for the instrument validity. So Formal and laptop was used at that time. I didn't use HTFD because it was relatively new technique. So after that, I go on and explain. I find out the typical path coefficients, the standard error, the t statistics, the decisions. So this is and R square and predicted relevance Q square values. And then I go on and show, I come up with the empirically tested model. So you can very clearly see here. You can see the dotted lines are typically the non-significant relationships that have emerged. And I have explained why it turned out to be non-significant, so that if you come to my discussion section, it is very clearly it has been explained and why it has turned out to be non-significant, and then followed by the theoretical implications and the practical implications, and then followed by the limitations of the study. So this was a small work that was conducted by me, and obviously you can download this paper and you can refer to how BRT is typically used today. So I will just keep this model in front of you so that if there are any more questions to be asked, you can ask. I think most of the things have been dealt with, but still you can see the sampling, data collection, common method bias, non-response bias, reason for using PLS, reason for using BRT theory, okay, and how to measure them, how to extract the reasons for and reasons against, some unique things. So I will just keep it on this model. And I think with this, it's 11:55, so I will just pause and stop. If there are any questions, I can take it, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.